For millions of years, humans were not the main character of Earth. We were not the hunters. We were not even the underdogs. We were basically menu items. And before you argue, think about it for a second. If you dropped a modern human into prehistoric Earth, how long would we actually survive? A day? A few hours? Or would we immediately get speedrun by anything with teeth? Because back then, Earth wasn't a peaceful place. It wasn't even nature. It was more like a constant survival experiment where everything else had better stats. Lions had strength. Eagles had flight. Crocodiles had patience issues, in the worst way. And humans? We had soft skin, slow legs, and absolutely no combat build whatsoever. Honestly, if evolution had a character selection screen, humans would have been rejected for low viability. So here's the real question. How did that species become the most feared animal? And even more confusing, why didn't we go extinct early? Let's rewind. 2 million years ago, humans were not impressive. We were small, vulnerable, and avoidant. We weren't apex predators. We weren't even mid-tier predators. We were closer to hope-based survival organisms. As in, hope nothing notices us. Hope we find food. Hope that rustling sound is just the wind and not death. Now here's something interesting. Most predators don't even need to try that hard. They are built for efficiency. But early humans? We were built for desperation. And yet, something strange started happening. We didn't compete through strength or speed. We competed through confusion. Because early humans didn't survive alone. They survived together. And that is where everything starts to shift. Let me ask you something. What is scarier than a strong animal? A group of weak ones that refuse to behave logically. Because individually, humans were nothing special. But together, we became something nature wasn't prepared for. Now imagine you're a lion. You've hunted your entire life. You understand how prey behaves. They run, they panic, they give up. But then you notice something weird. Humans don't behave like prey. They don't scatter properly. They don't stay scared. And worst of all, they don't leave. That's already unsettling. But it gets worse, because humans started coordinating. Not perfectly, not efficiently, but just enough to be dangerous. Now imagine being a mammoth. You are massive. You weigh several tons. Your entire identity is, I am too big to care. And for a long time, that works. Until humans appear. At first, it's nothing. A few distant figures. No threat. Then more appear. Then more. Then you realize something uncomfortable. They're not random. They're positioning. And suddenly, the forest doesn't feel like nature anymore. It feels like a plan. Let me ask you something. What happens when intelligence starts replacing strength? You start getting hunted by ideas instead of animals. And that's exactly what happened. Early humans discovered something terrifyingly powerful: cooperation. But not the friendly kind, the strategic kind. Because a single human is harmless. But 10 humans working together? That's where nature starts sweating. They learn to track, to surround, to wait, and most importantly, to not give up. That last part is crucial because most predators rely on bursts of energy. Chase, kill, rest. Humans said, what if we just don't rest? This is called persistence hunting, and it is one of the most disturbing strategies in nature. Here's how it works. The animal runs, humans follow. The animal stops to recover, humans continue. The animal runs again, humans still continue. No rage, no panic, just inevitability. Now imagine being the prey in that situation. At first, you're fine, then slightly annoyed, then confused, then deeply concerned about the concept of time itself, because the humans are still there. Hours later, still there. That changes fear. But humans weren't done. Something even bigger was coming. Fire. Now pause and think. What happens when a species learns to create light on demand? Everything else loses control of the night. Before fire, night belonged to predators. Then humans learned to create fire. And suddenly, the rules broke. Because fire didn't just provide warmth, it created boundaries. Imagine being a predator, watching humans sit around fire calmly, like it's normal. No fear, no hiding, just staring into something that destroys darkness itself. At that moment, humans didn't become stronger physically. They became untouchable, and that changes everything in nature. But here's where it gets more interesting. Fire didn't just protect humans. It changed how humans thought. We had time. Time to observe. Time to think about things that had nothing to do with survival. And that is where language, tools, and our future began to take shape. If you enjoyed this, subscribe, because the next story might change the way you see the universe.